For more now on the challenges faced by rescue crews in earthquake zones, I'm joined by Art delaCruz, the CEO of Team Rubicon, a global disaster relief and humanitarian organisation. He joins us live from Los Angeles. Thank you very much for being with us. And I understand that your teams are ready to deploy, and your organisation works with the WHO and the Turkish Ministry for Health. Can you explain to us what the process is and how you get deployed?
Yeah, so Team Rubicon is a veteran-led humanitarian organization, and we work closely with the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health. The deployment process is such that we've sent a reconnaissance team, which is 2 people, a doctor and a coordinator, and their job is to understand the needs and coordinate with the people on the ground. As that is happening, we'll constitute the needs and the composition of medical provisions and doctors and skilled personnel that can actually augment in a way that's productive. So they dictate what's the requirement in Turkey, and we try to match that, and we'll deploy that team.
And in terms of the kind of medical requirements, what sort of injuries are you preparing to deal with in these situations?
Yeah, it's a really unique thing to take a look at something like earthquakes. The injuries, range from, crush injuries to, injuries that happen from, falling objects, impact injuries. So there's a bunch of different things that we have to be ready for. In addition, as this begins to play out, and because infrastructure such as water and electricity, those things are inhibited, you begin to see other injuries that are actually a result of what has happened. And like any situation like this, to include, earthquakes that have happened in our past that we've responded to in places like Haiti, these conditions continue to exacerbate over the course of time.
And the conditions that can exacerbate over the course of time, in this case, presumably the cold weather has an impact.
Yeah, the reality is it's cold, it's damp, it's raining, people are out in the open, which again brings different illnesses associated with exposure. And then you have different things, because of the lack of, water as an example, that can also be transmitted over the course of time. And finally, those injuries, there'll be people that are injured with, broken bones or things like that it could take days until they receive the treatment. So again, you triage at that point, but understand that over the course of time that these things can increase in severity.
And just in terms of the planning, do you think that enough has been done? But we know that Turkey was an earthquake zone. Is it how well prepared is it, and how do you assess the response so far?
Yeah, the reality is this is a rapid onset disaster. You can prepare to some extent, and again, a lot of that is infrastructure, as the previous guest talked about. Some of those things you can't control, but at this point in time, the real thing that everyone has to center on is response in a coordinated fashion, response in a way where the aid that is inbound is directed, to the right place. And the other piece is also understanding the enablers that will increase that ability to respond quickly. We know that the roadways, are inhibited. We know that search and rescue is, a primary effort right now. And then we begin to fall in place, not just with priority, but also with location and the skills you bring to bear.
Art delaCruz, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.